What? Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, let's see. What is that? Is that a go? What? Hello, everyone. Just give me one moment. I'm setting things up for us. Oh, I see. I don't think we needed to do that. I'm sorry. I'm all confused. It's got me doing all wacky things with the super chats. So, happy Halloween, everyone. I hope you're all doing fabulous today. I hope you're all wearing costumes. I am not. I am in just gear, Halloween gear, even Halloween pants that have metallic witches' hats all over them. I look absolutely ridiculous, but in such a fun way. And I took poop out. I was strolling around the roads in my Halloween clothes. Care? It's fun. I love Halloween. I love this time of year. I'm very happy to see you all here joining me for the annual Halloween Live that was supposed to happen this morning, but I got a bunch of emergency calls that I didn't expect, so I had to do those. But we're here now, right? And we're going to have fun now. So let me get it so the chat don't... I just clean these, damn it all. So we don't get too much spam. Let me fix that. And then we'll get busy chatting. Well, that's going to have to be good enough with my glasses, huh? All right, let's see. One moment. Participants. Subscribers only. Okay. That should do it. I even put a ring light on for you guys so you could see my Halloween makeup. Just saying. Oh, and I'm only wearing one earring, in case you cared, because the other one broke. The spider fell off. So it's gluing in the kitchen. So I'm just wearing the one. I'm just going to show you this one here. That's my life, everyone. Okay. Let's see. So I can read my chats. Hi, guys. How are you? I hope you're doing fabulous. I hope you're having an amazing Halloween. Happy Halloween, Joy. And Joy in particular, I have a video going up on my other channel today, and that video includes the unboxing of your beautiful, wonderful gift to Poop and I. So it's towards the end of the video, just saying, in case you cared. In case you cared. I know I've already thanked you for it, but I'm saying thank you again. All right. Happy Halloween to you too, Anna. That was Poop saying happy Halloween. You're going to paint pumpkins with kids at where? That sounds like fun, Alex Cross. Poop's got her little Halloween outfit. I know you can't see her, but she's got a little Halloween witch bandana on. Hitman Thornton! Happy Halloween, my friend. Hitman has been a very dedicated friend to this channel since like day one. Happy Halloween, mistress. That's right. I am the, what? The head witch in charge of Halloween. I think I wore this last year, though. I was thinking about it, and it was already too late. I don't remember. It's fun. I work at a hippotherapy facility, so we do horse therapy with kids with disabilities. That is absolutely wonderful. I'm not going to lie. I missed all the activities, you know, that I used to do with my son when he was little. I miss all of that. We're going to walk in some of the most haunted woods in the country, so you know who doesn't go bonkers with trick-or-treaters. I do understand that. We don't even get trick-or-treaters out here because we're so out in the country. But I wish we did, because I would love it. Well, it's so good to see you, Yara. Is it normal for your body to still have a traumatic response every time we see SP? Yes, it can be. And I also want you to know that that doesn't mean it's going to happen forever. It's not going to happen forever. Think of it as the body being in a habit. I think that we should probably take that label of trauma response right on off of it. My reason for that is, not in any way to diminish any traumatic experiences you may have had throughout your life. However, if we feel like those experiences are having an effect on us, even now today, we want to start backing away from that story. And by story, again, that doesn't mean that it's not very real and definitely happening for you. It's just you are aware of being a conscious manifester now. So knowing that, I'm assuming you are aware that manifestation is really nothing more than awareness, right? So the moment you wrote that chat to me, you were aware of being a certain version of yourself, right? So I would say a version of yourself that identifies with experiencing trauma responses with SP. Well, you have the power and the authority to change that. Sorry. Yep. That light's bugging the hell out of me. I'm not sure this light's staying on for the whole thing. Okay. Because of who you are as source, and by source, that can mean God, universe, whatever you personally believe it is, or just consciousness, you have the authority to stop identifying with any experiences that you feel are having a negative effect on you. And you simply do that. Again, I don't want you to think it's going to be a lot of work to do it. It's just you stop identifying with it. So a first step would stop calling it a trauma response. Let's back away from that label. And let's look at it as, body's responding out of habit. That's all it is. Body's responding out of habit. But you are the version of yourself that easily breaks habits. That's who you are. And again, I don't want you to think like, oh my God, I got to affirm all these things now. No, just when the thoughts come in from the old identity, you have options now. We either just let the thoughts float on by, doesn't mean we're identifying with them. Let them pass. Or if they're bothering you, yes, you can respond to them with an affirmation or a reminder of who you are choosing to be. But in a sense, you're revising. In a sense. So as far as it happening right now, yes, absolutely, it is normal, especially if this is something that you've experienced, more than once. So again, now that story is there. Totally normal. Try not to think of it. Let me word it like this. Try not to think of anything you're experiencing as necessarily abnormal, right? Normal is relative. It's relative to, what you decide is normal. So let's call it normal, and let's call it, body responding out of habit, and you're currently breaking out of habits. So there's nothing to worry about. No, you're not going to be stuck with this feeling for the rest of your life. And if anything, I also would be thinking of myself or identifying as the version of myself that is always calm, cool, collected, and totally comfortable around specific person, because it is normal for you to be around your specific person. That's what I would do. Yep, we're ditching the light. Okay, ditching the light. Can't do it. Can't do it, guys. All right? Professionalism out the door. Let's see. Ooh. Ruby B, thank you very much. Kim, could you make a health rampage? I certainly could. Yes. Let's start right now with just, acknowledging that, you or anybody that you're thinking of in particular, your family members, your friends are all 100% healthy and perfect. That's the version of yourself that you're choosing. 100% healthy and perfect. We don't have to be afraid of our body. Number one, we don't have to be afraid of our body. Our body is being manifested every single moment, just like everything around us is, right? So we have the authority to claim a body that is healthy and perfect, or every single cell in your body is 100% healthy and perfect. Nothing to fear. Can't be limited by disease or just unhealthiness. No, we're not choosing that. And again, doesn't matter if you've already been diagnosed with something, you can still start a new story for yourself, a new identity. And knowing, maybe it's too much of a jump for you to go right to healthy. That's okay. So don't jump that far, right? Go to what is the closest, least resistive place for you. Maybe it's you identifying as the version of yourself that's healing, right? We're in charge and we get to choose any state or version of ourselves that we want to be. So choose that, okay? But yes, I can, Ruby B. Zahara, thank you very much. Zara, either Zahara or Zara, right? Hey, Kim. My SP said he doesn't want to be committed. He's 22. I feel poopy. Okay. And I'm struggling mentally to persist. I feel betrayed because he lied and cheated. Okay. Your SP has verbalized he doesn't want to be committed. Okay. And you feel betrayed because he lied and cheated. All right. So, first of all, we don't want to be committed to an SP that lies and cheats, do we? No, we want them to, fuck right off. So let's get the focus off that version of your specific person so that you can bring in the version of that SP that is loyal and faithful, and wants to be committed to you. So when we experience in the 3D, so it's been verbalized to you, it's more than likely you started a story. There's now a belief there that this is who your specific person truly is. He doesn't want to be committed. He's already lied and cheated to you, blah, blah, blah. Those stories are already existing. We got to get our minds off of them. So again, our feelings are, I was about to say our feelings and emotions, but our feelings are always valid. We're not wrong for having a response to something we've experienced in 3D, good or bad. Remember, we are the ones that are labeling good or bad, right? So we're not wrong if we may have, experienced being hurt and those feelings of hurt or emotions. We're not wrong. It's not a big deal that we already had those emotions. That's fine. But we know from this point forward who we are choosing to be. You're choosing to be the version of yourself that knows that she, or anybody else listening, she or he, is the version of self that is aware of being more than enough to be committed to, more than enough to, I'm trying to think of a good phrase. I don't want to say not be cheated on, or experiencing a loyal, faithful relationship and experiencing a loyal and faithful version of your specific person. Try not to make the mistake of putting all the focus on your specific person. I cannot make this as clear as listen. It is the biggest lesson that I had to learn and that I see many other people learning. And by those many other people, the people that are getting successes, the people that get movement are the people getting all the focus off of specific person. I cannot stress to you how important that is. Actually, this whole topic just came up in the channel membership last night, and it's so true that anyone that's telling you to just consistently affirm for your specific person in of themselves or herself is bullshitting you. It's bullshitting you. That doesn't mean you can't affirm it all for a specific person. That's not the message. But you've got to make yourself your priority. Because if you don't, then you won't get that reflection in reality. You can only ever experience who you believe you are or who you are identifying as. So using Zahara as the example, she feels betrayed. She feels hurt. because of her specific person. She also is experiencing a fear that this specific person is never going to fully choose her and be in a faithful relationship because she's already heard him say that to her. Okay? So our logical instinct is to put the focus on SP and start affirming things. He wants to be committed to me. He wants to be committed to me. I'm making that affirmation up, but to give you an example. And then totally blowing off the most important element or the most important part of this equation, which is you. Who are you? We can affirm for SP all day long. All day long. And if you don't change who you are, and by change, I just mean version of self, your state of consciousness, your identity. If you never change that, at best, you're going to experience hot and cold behavior. And that's at best. And I bet you money on that. I'll put money down on that. If you don't change self, you will at minimum only get hot and cold behavior. I'm so cocky confident on that. Because I've lived it. I've experienced it. And I coach people that have lived it and experienced it. And their big, massive, amazing movement came when they put the focus on them and the identity. So if you're experiencing ever being cheated on, if you've experienced, your specific person not wanting to be committed to you, really what would stand out to me is the not good enough belief. So you want to start identifying as the version of yourself that knows that he or she is more than enough for love. Because you already are love. You're more than enough for a secure, faithful relationship. You can go ahead and put your SP's name on the end of that statement, at the end of that affirmation, if you would like to. But you have to be the priority in order to experience being a priority. If you put all the focus on SP and forget yourself, you're doing this backwards. So, again, for everyone, this doesn't mean that when you're hurting because of something with SP, that you can't allow yourself to get it out of your system, to have the cry, right? We are human. We're here to have a human experience, and we're going to experience feelings and emotions. That's okay. You're not ruining anything. But once the emotions are out, the time is now to put the focus on who you are, who you believe you are. One thing that helped me was realizing I was always identifying as the girl manifesting her SP. That was my identity. The me that's manifesting an SP. Well, I don't want to be a girl manifesting an SP. I want to be the girl that just has the relationship. I don't want to have to be the person that's got to constantly, oh, universe or God, please give me love. I did that the first, 40 years of my life. No, I want to be the person that just has it, who just confidently, cockily knows that I'm in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship. That's just who I am. That's my normal. It's my normal to be in love. It's my normal to know I am loved or that I am chosen. I am committed to by my specific person. I want that to be my normal. I want that to be the thing I don't question or doubt. I know comfortably, like I know comfortably Poop, my dog, if you're new here, really her name's Trinity, but like I comfortably know Poop is sitting right next to me on my couch. So comfortably, confidently, I know she's there. That's how I want to feel about my relationship, that I just have it. He just loves me. He just chooses me. Like, duh, of course he does. So I had to stop identifying as the person manifesting a specific person. I started identifying as the me that already has it, who has always had it. That's who I am. It's my normal to believe that I'm chosen and that I'm more than enough for a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship. That's what brought me the loving, fulfilling, committed relationship, was that big change, that shift in identity. And you can affirm it, you can visualize it, You can script it. You could just talk to yourself in a conversation. You could have inner conversations. You're in charge. So do what feels good to you. And it can be as simple as I'm saying it to you. Place your awareness on who you want to be, and reality will reflect. Just saying. All right. Whoopsie. Well, it doesn't seem to have a name on my end, so thank you very much. It's a symbol that I cannot see because it's so small, but thank you. It's right after Zara's super chat. Hey, Kim, I like to tell myself I'm the Sabrina Spellman of my reality. Oh my God. Hello, reflection. I literally was just looking up that TV show, okay, to rewatch it, to re-binge watch it. I love that. I love that. Hello, you're reflecting me. Anyway, I like to tell myself I'm the Sabrina Spellman of my reality. And I know circumstances don't matter. But then SP said no to drinks because he's my manager and I'm an employee. Okay. So what does that mean to you? Outside of the logic, outside of the obvious, like, I don't like that. I don't like that. He said he doesn't want to have drinks with me. Outside of that, how did it make you feel? Now, for the sake of conversation, let's say that it made you feel like, oh my God, he doesn't like me. Or he's too afraid to be with me. He's too afraid to be seen with me because he's my manager. He's too afraid. He's not going to do this. He's not going to entertain this. It's not chosen. And not chosen is a part or a spin-off of not good enough. So I'm glad that you're aware that circumstances don't matter. He said he doesn't want to risk his career. Okay, so it's not chosen. He doesn't want to choose you because he's afraid it's going to ruin his career. It's literally no different if he had said he's already in a relationship. It's the same. He's not choosing you. So it's not because he really doesn't like you. It's not because he doesn't really want to choose you. It's because he can. Because that belief is resonating within your identity. It's only that. So we got to change the identity. Who are you? So as I was starting to say, I like it. I like knowing that you are already aware that circumstances don't matter. You're aware of it, but you don't fully trust it, which I didn't either when I first started all of this. I didn't either. So that's not me picking on you, but it's also something to be aware of. See, we think that our circumstance is different. It's more special. And special not in a good way. Special as in, oh my God, how am I going to overcome this? Maybe this circumstance is just too big for me to be able to, dissolve it. And I'm telling you, if everyone was being honest, everyone would say that they at some point thought that their circumstances were going to be too hard or that they were too special, too difficult. Everyone does. It's fear. It's all it is fear. And when you think about it, it's the fear from not good enough too. A lot of our beliefs are, spin-offs or shoot-offs from the not good enough belief. It's like a disease, that belief. So if I were you, I would start putting your focus on being the version of yourself that is more than enough to be chosen, more than enough to be in the relationship or be in a relationship with a specific person, more than enough. Try not to put the focus on, what he's already said. He doesn't want to risk it. It's your choice what you affirm. You get to choose your affirmations, right? Nobody can tell you what to affirm. What I see a lot of people doing is going right to that logical thinking and wanting to affirm against that circumstance. So, for example, you know, maybe your logical mind is saying, well, I'm going to affirm that he wants to take the risk. He wants to take the risk. He wants to take the risk. In an innocent way, it's not really a big deal to use that affirmation. However, if we would like to get rid of the circumstance just a little bit quicker, get the awareness off of it. When we want something to get out of our reality, the answer is to get our awareness off of it. Is that always easy thanks to our logical, rational mind? No. No. But that's because we don't control the thoughts that pop into our mind. However, we are in charge of what we do with the thoughts. So the less you are focusing on that statement or that fear that he doesn't want to risk it, he doesn't want to choose you, he's afraid, he's afraid because he's your boss, blah, blah, blah. The less your attention and awareness is on that, the quicker it leaves reality. So I wouldn't even affirm anything. Now, this is just my opinion. You don't have to follow me word for word, right? I wouldn't affirm anything like, he wants to risk it. He wants to be in this relationship because, or whatever, still attaching it to. That didn't make sense. I know it. I knew it mid-affirmation, mid-sentence. But I wouldn't affirm necessarily against it. Granted, we don't have to be afraid of words. They're just words. But the more our awareness is on the thing we don't want, what happens? We experience reflection. So if I were you, all of my focus and attention would be on being the version of self that's in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship with a specific person. Put it on you, because all of this, everything you've experienced so far, and again, this isn't like a blame or shame thing. I think you're aware of that. If you've watched any of my videos, this is never about beating ourselves up for manifesting things. But, all of this is the reflection of the not good enough belief. So if you start identifying as being more than enough to be in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship, I am the version of self in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship with SB's name. That's really all you need to do, truthfully. So if you put the focus there, get the focus off of the story or the things we don't want, the quicker it's going to change. But I hope you have not wasted any time worrying that it's just because he doesn't want you, because that's not the case. Not at all. All right, Bad Kitty, member for 42 months. Thank you very much. Happy Halloween, Kimmy and Poopsie. I love you and am beyond thankful for having manifested you into my life. Oh, Bad Kitty. Make sure to give Poop extra treats so she doesn't play tricks with your fancy pillows. God, I love you. I love you. Poop loves you. I'm grateful for you, Bad Kitty. If you didn't notice, I said Bad Kitty, member for 42 months. Bad Kitty has been here and in one of the three, because in the beginning there was only one channel membership, has been in the channel membership since they very first started, just to support me, not because she necessarily, needs to be in channel memberships. I'm just saying she's been here since day one. She's been here for me since day one, and I don't forget that shit. I am a very loyal person, so I recognize those who are loyal to me, and it's very much appreciated. I love you, Bad Kitty. And I also have to say thank you for using the one free super chat you get and saying something nice. That was very nice. Kate Johnson, thank you very much. Hey, Kim, I know you've already given me so much reassurance, but could use a zhuzh today regarding SP. Love you and happy Halloween. Happy Halloween to you too. I love you too. Okay. So we want to judge. Well, I wish you could tell me specifically what you're needing the zhuzh about, if there's something specific, but that's okay. We can still zhuzh without all the details. And the only reason why I say that is because it would be the quiet. Thank you. Okay. Because I was to say, because it would make it easier for me to direct where my judge is going to go. So the quiet. So for anybody out there, if you're experiencing what Kate calls the quiet, well, what I would refer to as the quiet time. That's why she said it that way. Because number one, the quiet can feel like you're in no contact, but you're not in no contact. And I try not to use that phrase very much because I think we should break the habit of using the phrase, I'm in no contact. That should go. We need to throw that out immediately because you're not in no contact. You're not. You logically feel like you're in no contact, but you're not in no contact because it's fucking impossible. Every single one of us is connected in consciousness. We're connected in consciousness. You can't be in no contact. You're in contact with fucking everyone, first of all, okay? But I know that in 3D reality, logically and literally, it sucks when you're experiencing quiet time. I hated it, so I feel for anybody in it, but I will be honest with you. There's a little part of me that thinks those of you who are in quiet, you have an advantage. Now, granted, this is just if we were to look at manifestation, like if there's advantages to some manifestations versus others. And that's all personal opinion. The reason why I have the personal opinion that when you're in quiet, you have the advantage is because when you're someone that does see their specific person quite often, from just experience, that tends to be the group that gets really triggered when they're not seeing the change in SP. So, because I've lived both, I've had both experiences along my journey. The quiet, I would experience, the longing. I would have a longing, which was only fear. Let's keep it real. Longing feels like shit. And longing was coming from the fear of, what if I can't manifest him back? What if this doesn't work? What if he just doesn't want to be with me? Blah, blah, blah. All the old logical fears I would have. But when I did have contact with him, I was more of a triggered bitch when I was experiencing the contact. Because I would be doing my manifestation routines and techniques, blah, 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 like my old self would. And if he wasn't reflecting what I had just been scripting, do you think that I would be smart and remind myself that circumstances don't matter? You're experiencing the unfolding. Don't give this a shitty meaning. Everything's okay. No, of course I didn't do that. I would go right to, oh my God, this doesn't work. This doesn't work. He's not changing at all. And mind you, when I was a heavy scripter, I was putting all the focus and attention on him, which didn't get me anything other than hot and cold behavior, like I've already discussed today. So you'd think I would reassure myself. I didn't. I would fall apart. I wasn't exaggerating when I say that I was a triggered bitch. I was a triggered bitch. And I would give everything the meaning of, this doesn't work. Manifestation's bullshit. Always. So, you have the advantage, in my opinion, just opinion, when you're in quiet, because you have the airtime in here to put the focus on who you want to be. You have time, that linear time that we think we're truly living. You've got power. You've got the ability to keep yourself focused or keep yourself being aware of exactly who you want to be without having a trigger, if we see something we don't like in 3D reality, busting you out consistently. Now, Kate, specifically to you, I'm not saying that you get busted out all the time when you're talking to them. I didn't mean it like that. But I meant in general, that's what I see a lot of. So you've got a fucking advantage right now, girl. So first of all, because we're not enjoying it, nobody enjoys quiet time. Let's not even look at reality like that's what we're experiencing, which I know isn't easy. But let's start. Listen, this is your damn reality. You get to decide. You get to choose how you're perceiving reality. So in the moments where we're missing our person, first of all, there is nothing. I would go to the inner conversations and, bring it back to my awareness that I was in contact with him. So you've always got that, number one, to soothe yourself, having that inner conversation. I'm not saying you got to do that, but that's an option. But when we feel we're in quiet time, let's use that moment when it's in our awareness. Or if a fear comes up of, how much longer it's going to be, all that. Everything I'm experiencing is happening absolutely for a reason. Everything. Every little thing I'm experiencing is happening for me to become my new self, the self that has that loving, fulfilling, committed relationship with him. So this isn't quiet as in a negative. No, that's not what's happening. And oh yeah, that's right. I'm manifesting a specific person who happens to be a whole ass human. So if it feels like it's quiet, now something is happening to my benefit in that reality. 100% to my benefit. So I can enjoy this quiet. I can have a good time when it feels like it's quiet. Because I know this is so fucking temporary. And again, it's serving me. I might not feel like it's serving me every single moment, but it is. It has to be, because reality is always doing what it's told, meaning it's always reflecting who I'm choosing to be. So if it feels quiet, it's reflecting my new self and I am benefiting from it. I don't have to understand how I'm benefiting from it, but I am. And let's be honest, we're manifesting a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship or a loving, fulfilling, committed marriage. Right? That's what we're manifesting. So marriage sounds to me, or a committed relationship where we live together sounds to me like I'm going to be with this person every single day. So let me enjoy this quiet time so I can be pampering myself and enjoying having the TV to myself, enjoying having the whole couch to myself, enjoying having the whole bed to myself. So this is not a bad time. This is me having my last few moments of fully alone time wherever you live. Spin it, because you're in charge of that. And meaning spin that perception, because really everything you are experiencing is to your benefit, to bring you exactly what you want, even when it doesn't make sense. Even when reality doesn't make sense to us. Even if what we're experiencing makes us afraid because we feel like we've experienced the same thing before with this person, because that's what my mind used to throw at me. So I fear, oh my God, is it going to lead me down the same road? No, not possible, because you're nowhere near the person who manifested the quiet or the past quiet experience. You're nowhere near being that version of yourself. So no, it's not leading you down the same road. It's leading you to being with that person for the rest of your life if that's what you want. That's what you're experiencing. The absolute unfolding of it. You're living the manifestation right here and now. So it's not the 3D muggle man's idea of quiet time, of no contact. That's not what's happening. This is me experiencing my manifestation. It's you experiencing your manifestation, Kate. And remember, the more you keep returning to your decision of who the hell you are choosing to be, the clearer the fog of reality becomes. The clearer the manifestation is in front of our face, the more we return to it. Meaning that filter keeps clearing up more and more and more as you return. Okay? I hope that judged you, Kate. But I was speaking the truth. I'm already hot, so we got to remedy it. I need to... We got a remedy. You are welcome, Kate. Oh, Summer Sparkles. I'm assuming since I'm the only voice you're hearing, you were saying that to me. Thank you so much. I miss you, Summer. I hope you're doing amazing. All right. Salty, thank you very much. Happy Halloween. Kim, also, could you judge a girl up, staying consistent and returning, but not cool things be happening lately. Not trying to identify, but you know, SP and other areas. Love you. Love you too. Okay, so let's kind of continue what we were just talking about. And yes, we do have to catch up, Summer. Definitely. Let's kind of keep going with what we're, see this was my nail polish samples. Anyway, there's some useless information. So you're returning to your decision and you're not trying to identify, I'm going to say, as being old self, which is good. That's good. But when reality doesn't look the exact way we want, it can be upsetting. It can be triggering. It can be annoying. It can be frustrating. But it can only be those things if we're forgetting something. Meaning, we're going to have all of our emotions and feelings, right? We've got the full range of them for a reason, right? And every state has the full range of emotions and feelings, just saying, every version of you. So, number one, we don't want to be beating ourselves up because we're having a shit day. We don't beat ourselves up for it. We decide that it doesn't matter, meaning we're not ruining anything. We're not delaying our manifestation. We're not ruining anything. We don't want to put the label on if we react or if we emotionally react. We don't want to take the label of now I've ruined shit. Now I'm delaying shit. We don't want to do that to ourselves. Remember, we're in charge of who we are. There are infinite versions of us. Okay, so we get to pick and choose who we want to be. So the last thing we want to do is identify with, you know, my reality sucks and now I've ruined my manifestation. We don't want to identify with that. But the key to manifestation is consistency and discipline. So I'm happy to see that you're staying consistent and returning, which is good. And by discipline, all I mean is before you found manifestation, your mind was not disciplined. Your mind was just throwing thoughts at you, and what you did with them really was habit. Undisciplined habit. And if you were anything like my old self, my habit was I really believed my negative thoughts. I believed those. I believed those more than I would believe good thoughts. So that's one of the habits I needed to get rid of. And by disciplining the mind, I mean staying aware. Or as Vadim Zeland would say, having that plan in place for the keeper. Neville Goddard would say, you know, being the observer. Choosing to stay aware moment by moment. Now, I don't mean that from a place of pressure. I mean it from a place of setting an intention for yourself that when you feel triggered, when you feel frustrated, when you're feeling that energetic pull of, you know, being upset with the 3D or labeling the 3D as something that we're not benefiting from, use those moments. Like, set the intention right now that if we feel the experience of one of those moments coming in, that is a new discipline that we're going to remember the keeper. We're going to remember that we are the observer. And we're going to choose to go into observer mode. instead of going into nitpicking what's happening in reality. So, but and Salty, I'm not saying you're nitpicking. I'm just using this 'cause obviously more than one person is listening to this. So, what do I mean by that? I mean that, say, for example, you're manifesting a specific person. And let's say that your specific person is someone you work with. So you got to see this motherfucker every single day. Okay. And when they're not showing up exactly the way we would prefer. So we'll say the way we would prefer is they are always confessing their undying love to us, right? And we comfortably know they love us and want to be with us, right? Because that would be much more fun than experiencing, I don't want to be with you, bitch. So let's say, you go to work and maybe it's an innocent thing, but you see your specific person talking to another coworker that, is of the, we'll say, the threat of a third party person, coworker. Now, by threat of a third party, I mean, no, they're not, they've never been a third party, but there's a threat of it. We feel the threat of it. Well, first of all, we know what that is. That's a reflection of the not good enough belief. Hello, right? We know that automatically, but that's not what this conversation's about. So we probably have our body's habit, the habitual response to a trigger like that. Our body probably just gave us a punch in the gut or a burning, tingling feeling. Like, really, it's I can describe all different types of body feelings, but you alone are going to know what ones mean what to you. So I'm just throwing examples. So let's say you get that uncomfortable feeling seeing your person talking to a coworker that we don't want them to talk to for bullshit reasons, from the not good enough belief. We feel it. Well, we've set a new rule. We've set an intention. And granted, do you hear my wording? We're setting the rule. It's not really a rule, but it's a beneficial one. All right, I'm getting this shit feeling again. Or I don't like what I see in reality today. Here is my signal. This is my signal to my new intention, my new rule for myself. I'm going back to observer mode. I'm going to the keeper, which is your awareness. It's what's really, really running the show up here. It's who you are, the real you. Awareness. The part of you that is thinking the thoughts. The part of you that's listening. The part of you that's really behind your eyes, experiencing 3D. That you. And you're going to set that damn intention that whenever you have those feelings inside, or you see something in reality that you would label as I don't like, that's the moment to go into observer mode. Now, number one, it could be as simple as you reminding yourself that you are the God of your reality, or you are source. Fine. But something that makes you snap out of it and step out of reality. And by step out of reality, that's my way of describing what I personally do, which is I see reality as a bubble, as a reality bubble. And every single one of us is in our own reality bubble. That when we bump up against each other, it's how we know each other. I see myself, and I'm not a good visualizer. This is just something that pops up into my mind. I see myself stepping out of the bubble so that I'm taking the step back and looking at reality from the big picture. Okay? What our higher self sees, the looking down on reality. I'm stepping backwards and stepping away from the experience, from the circumstance in reality for a moment, all up in here. So I can remind myself, okay, first of all, I'm source. I am source. I am the, observer, the keeper who is in charge of what is going out into reality and being reflected back to me. So here's something I don't like. I don't like seeing this at work today. Again, making up this example. I don't like seeing this. It gives me a yucky feeling. We're going to call it gives me a threatened feeling. I don't like him talking to her. I know better. I know that must mean my not good enough belief is trying to run the show, or an old version of myself is trying to run the show. No, I am source. I am. Again, the words you use, it's up to you. But something I would use is I am the version of self that's in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship. That's the version of self I am. That's the reality I'm in. So I don't have to be afraid of anybody. It doesn't matter who he's talking to. Doesn't matter. This is my reality, and I am this self. No, you do not have to go on this full-on dialogue and affirm all of this. I'm saying this is just an example, okay? But you're making a decision, a conscious decision to consciously separate yourself from what you're experiencing in reality, because you are not separate from your reality, right? You are reality. But it helps in here to see it separately for a moment so you can see the bigger picture. You can see what's really happening right now in that moment. You can see what beliefs are resonating. So you're seeing above the circumstance, so there's nothing to be afraid of. Nothing to be afraid of. It's a reflection of your beliefs. You're in charge. So you just need that little gentle reminder of who the fuck you are. Nothing to be afraid of. No circumstance. That's why we don't have to be afraid of circumstances. So when you separate yourself from them and make that conscious decision to be the observer, observing what reality is reflecting, instead of emotionally getting involved into the circumstances, which, if we're upset or triggered by circumstances, getting ourselves involved in it in the 3D or internally, getting involved with it, we're not serving ourselves. We're giving our power away. We're the boss. So again, this is never, ever for you to go to a place of denying what you're feeling. This is never about stuffing down and pretending you're not feeling what you're feeling. What I'm saying is it's separating yourself enough to see and understand why this is happening, why these feelings are coming up, what we're really labeling that circumstance, what we really think is happening in that circumstance, so we can make a better fucking decision for ourselves. See, most people go surface level. So they'll see that third party, again, we're just going to call that coworker third party. They see that third party and want to immediately remove that third party. Not that there's anything wrong with wanting a bitch to go away. I don't mean that. But why? Why do we need that to happen? Are you a basic bitch manifester? Or are you the god of your fucking reality? Your source? We don't have to make someone go away. We can by getting them out of our awareness. But I'm saying, why don't you go to the next level up of being completely Teflon to anybody else in reality or to any circumstance in reality? Stand in the authority of who you are as source. There is nothing to be worried about. There are no circumstances that can really hurt you. No circumstances can. Most of the time, it's just the fear of experiencing the emotions and feelings that a circumstance might give you that we fear. So we're fearing to avoid a feeling. Your source. Your source. So again, I'm not telling everybody not to go, remove a third party. That's not what I mean by it. I'm saying go bigger. Why are we even threatened or bothered by third party? How this led to a third party example, I don't know. Salty. But see past the circumstances is what I'm saying to you. See past it. See bigger. Step out of the reality bubble and realize if I'm seeing it, if I'm experiencing it in reality, and at the same time, I know that I'm choosing to be the version of myself that has exactly what I want, then somehow, some way, what I'm seeing in 3D is totally connected to me getting what I want. I'm just not making logical sense of it right now in this moment. And thank God I don't have to convince my rational mind anything. I don't have to convince my physical body of anything. I just need to consciously choose who I want to be, period. Okay? Let's see. Okay. Let's see. For advanced manifestors, thank you very much. Poop inside or shit inside doesn't diminish my belief. Reminder, please. Right now, going through the motions, knowing, but it feels far away right now, finding myself trying to flip 3D successes from a solo vacation. Sorry for wavering. Monday will be better. Okay, don't ever apologize to me for wavering. Don't apologize to me for that. You don't fucking apologize to anybody in 3D reality when you're wavering. You owe no one explanations of when you're wavering. You're a human. And as much as I believe we would all like to always feel amazing 24/7, we might all have moments where we don't feel great. And that is perfectly normal. We are here still having a human experience. So, again, I cannot stress that again. Don't ever apologize again for wavering. It's a moment. It's a fucking moment. Don't give it bigger meaning. Okay? And you might have meant it so it's just something to say, but I'm really hammering that for a reason, because I do think there's a lot of fear mongering in this community, and I'm doing my due diligence to snap that the fuck on out of the community. We don't beat ourselves up for having an emotional reaction. Ever. Ever. And I do think, especially when we're baby manifestors, when all of this is really, really new to us, and we're still, taking in a lot of content, trying to understand how manifestation works, that message can be skewed because we're still in the habit of thinking super logically. And the way we phrase things, it can give the impression that if you emotionally react, you're ruining your manifestation. And that's just not true. Once you've made your decision of what you want, in other words, saying yes to the desire. And from there, you're making a daily conscious choice to be a version of yourself or to be in a particular state of consciousness. Everything from there, every single thing you're experiencing, even the things that you would label as bad, are moving, shaping, and molding you to be the self that has the desire. So what that really means is, can you go from baby manifester first day in the community all the way to the wish fulfilled? Of course you can. You can hop into any state you want. Will you probably fall out and fluctuate through states? Yes, because we fluctuate all the time. That doesn't mean we're not good manifestors. That doesn't mean we're doing something wrong. So that needs to be made clear. All right. As far as poop inside doesn't diminish my belief, reminder, please. So I'm hoping I'm understanding you correctly. What you're asking me is if maybe you're having fearful thoughts or something. And when the fearful thoughts are coming in, that doesn't have to mean that you're not making that new decision for yourself, or that you choosing to be a version of yourself is still working. It's still effective, even though a fearful thought came in and maybe you cried because of the thought. And your answer, you are correct. So, for example, when I really came into the understanding that I could just say to myself that I am new self, and that would put me in that state, that would still work without having to do a long-winded technique to get into that state. When I finally understood that, did I have moments where I would fall out of that and hear my fearful thoughts and maybe cry because of them? Absolutely, I did. Absolutely. Okay? This is what I meant by we fluctuate through states all day long. And while we're fluctuating, we might land in a state that feels like a victim state. That doesn't mean it's the day one original victim state. It doesn't mean that. It just might feel like a similar victim state. Okay? We might have an emotion. We might cry. We might get angry. But it's really a reflection of just the state you're in, which you're not stuck in, and you're not going to stay there forever. But I dare say, even you falling into, we'll call it a victim state, even you having that experience, that's still a part of your unfolding to your manifestation. Every single thing you're experiencing is. So just because we're aware that we fluctuate through states all the time, we're aware of that already, right? Meaning, so that must be a part of the unfolding as well. The fluctuating through states must be, has to be. Because you know your heart's intention, you know the goal state, the wish fulfilled version of yourself that you're reaching for every day, right? And to anybody else listening, I'm assuming you're doing it every day because you should. It should be the first thing you choose for yourself before you get out of bed. That's just what I like to do. You don't have to do that. But it's beneficial. Start your fucking, your first conscious, aware moments when you wake up. Especially if you're hit with anxiety like I used to be. You remind yourself who the hell you are. I don't mean you got to go through a tirade of all different techniques. No, it's just a simple choice. But you are always aware that that's the self you're reaching for. So even if you fall into a victim state, that doesn't mean your subconscious mind, if you would like that wording better, that doesn't mean your subconscious mind has forgotten that that's the state you're always reaching for. Because think about it. It's always there in your mind. It's always there. You might get distracted, like when you got to go to work, but it's there still. It's still hovering who you're choosing to be. It's always there. We are smarter. We are more than a computer. We are amazing, brilliant, multidimensional beings. Our mind can handle everything that we're throwing and thinking at it, including the mind always knowing what state you're choosing or which version of self you're choosing. Again, you might fall out of that state, but your mind is still running the knowledge, the knowing of what state you are preferring. You might have to move or climb or crawl through states to land officially in it. If you're not making the conscious decision, I'm saying, if it's a moment where you're not choosing, you're experiencing a fearful thought that's upset you, right? That's the example we're using. But you know it's still there. You are aware of your desire. You are aware of who you want to be. That awareness is still there. You don't lose that. You don't downgrade because you've moved through a different state. That's what I'm trying to say. We are more powerful than that. Our mind is bigger, badder. Trying to think of a more word to let you know that we are so powerful. Okay? States are the filter you're experiencing this experience through, right? But there's still always the awareness of who you want to be. We don't lose that because we have fallen into a victim state. So, yes, to very long-windedly answer you, yes, of course it's still working. Of course. The state you're in, okay, we'll just say a less than favorable one, because if it doesn't feel good, it doesn't fucking feel good. A less than favorable one, right? So, in other words, you're experiencing, I'm rereading your thing, really knowing, but it feels far. Okay. So, you're experiencing a state where your manifestation feels very far away. Okay. Well, first of all, we know better, though. That's not possible because of consciousness. So, you are very much connected to the person you're manifesting. Very much connected. But in the physical 3D, perhaps it feels far away from fully manifesting or fully having that person sit right next to you on the couch. It feels far away, more than likely because you are thinking something very logical or concerning yourself with how this will unfold. So that's not something for you to beat yourself up over. That's something for you to remind yourself of what decision you're making and remembering your source. And I'm hoping, I think you already wrote it somewhere that you are doing the I Am Source challenge. Because that's only going to serve you. That's only going to benefit you to have the keeper on guard. Having the awareness of the observer. So that when we're feeling certain ways, we have that discipline to remind ourselves of who we really are. We're not really this physical bodied human. We are much more than that. And it is very beneficial to remember that in moments like that. Okay? The thing I didn't understand is finding myself trying to flip 3D successes from a solo vacay. I don't understand what you mean by that, my friend. Trying to flip 3D successes from a solo vacation. Because I just need to say, just because I'm aware of what you're manifesting, you're not really in a solo vacation, though. So I hope by what you wrote here that you are not identifying as someone being in a solo vacation, because you're not in a solo vacation. Okay? So I hope you're not giving yourself that label. You, in particular, you are not in a solo vacation. So you don't even need to concern yourself with that label. If you're new to my channel, solo vacation just means breakup. It means breakup. It sounds less shitty. Okay? So yeah, you're not in a solo vacation, girl. And I'm not saying that from a manifestation level. I'm saying in the physical 3D, you are not in a solo vacation. So you can throw that shit right out. Okay? Rhonda C, thank you very much. Hey, Kim. Whoops. Okay. Hey, Kim. Beautiful friend. Listen to you, Rhonda. Happy Halloween. You too. I can't thank you enough for your content and showing up for all of us. Deciding I am source and my authentic self, so much has been reflected back to me lately. It's just incredible. I know it's all coming in. Oh my God, Rhonda. Rhonda, I just love you. I'm grateful for you. Okay? The same thing I said to Bad Kitty. I'm grateful for you. You using the one free super chat that you're given each month, you using that to say something so sweet to me. I sincerely appreciate that. I'm very happy to hear that you're, you're having things reflected back, insights and shit like that. And I can't wait till I talk to you so I can hear all about it. And as far as I know, it's all coming in. I know that you know, and I hope that you know that I know that it's all coming in. I know it is. You are, literally in the physical 3D, literally experiencing the manifestation. You are. You're it's all going good for you, girl. And I'm very proud of you, because I would put you in that category of someone who doesn't fucking give up on yourself. You don't give up. And you are someone that has readily always had yourself open to shift, open to be aware of who you are, to become a version of yourself. And I've always admired that about you. So I'm very proud of you, Rhonda. We're getting emotional here. I'm getting all red in the face now. I love you. Angela. Is it Angela Jasecki? Did I say that right? Thank you very much. Been at this for 3 years. SP is ex-husband, father of kids. He's remarried to 3P. They just had a baby. Feel like I have done everything right, but no major movement. Don't want to give up, but at a loss. Okay. So, listen, outside of the obvious, meaning I can imagine logically or rationally how you're perceiving that new baby. Okay. And obviously on this channel, we are not wishing any type of harm on babies or on anyone, truthfully. So I know that's not where you're coming from. So outside of the obvious, that we're not wishing harm, of course, but what are you giving that as a label? So in other words, your intention, I'm assuming, is to be a version of yourself that's in a loving, fulfilling, committed marriage back with, your husband. Now, we just experienced, husband becoming ex-husband to ex-husband marrying someone else and them having a baby together. I'm making an assumption here that you're probably labeling that as like a big interference or a big block to you getting what you want. Granted, those are my words, but there's a part of me that feels that. And if so, okay, that's one of the things we need to address. So in other words, it doesn't matter what has already manifested in 3D reality, as permanent or cement like it feels, there's still not blocks to you getting what you want. So you wrote here, you've been at it for 3 years, and I feel like I've done everything right. Okay. So when you say I feel like I've done everything right, what does that mean? What have you done that's right? That sounded terrible. I didn't mean it to sound like that. What have you done that's right? I didn't mean it like that. But what have you been doing? Who are you really aware of being? What is the label of the new baby? What do we see that as? Now this is going to be even more harder. This is going to be even more difficult to get him back. There's probably a little of that going on. So let's really take a look at the identity, who you really are identifying as. And I'm certainly not saying that you've probably been doing everything wrong. I don't mean it like that. I'm just saying, all right, well, right now, we're probably having some feelings and emotions, over the 3D. So once we've gotten them out, we really need to take a look at who we really are identifying as. What do we really believe about yourself in love? What is possible for you in love? And what do you truly, truly believe about your ex-husband? And just for the sake of conversation, I understand why you used that terminology, so I could, have an insight on your scenario. So this isn't me picking on you, but from this moment forward, stop calling him your ex-husband. That's not who he is. That's not what we're manifesting, right? He's not the ex-husband. He's your specific person. Or better yet, he's your husband, hubby, whatever you want to call him. Just no more ex, no more ex-husband. And, because you're experiencing this in the physical, I'm sure there's a habit somewhere of calling him that. Maybe, like when you're talking to friends or talking to family, the ex, blah, blah, blah. And if you don't have that habit, good. But if you do, and if you are consciously aware of it, that needs to go. I know they're just words, but we know those words have meaning to you because you use them to describe him. See what I'm saying? So that has to go. And when I say, what do you really believe? I mean genuinely. What do you actually believe about him and what is possible for you to experience from him? Take a look at what stories you may already have of him. And you didn't put in here, how your divorce happened. But if it was a story in any way, shape, or form of like him choosing to leave you or he cheated or anything like that, is that story still within you? Do you still believe that's who he is? And that's, again, if you experience something painful during that, we'll say separation or whatever, it's not to diminish what you experienced. We're trying to jump to a new timeline. So are we still resonating with that story? And I think, as far as you telling yourself that you've done everything right, I would keep that part. I would keep telling myself that I'm doing everything right and everything is leading to the ending. Everything is working out. Listen, you're experiencing a 3D that might appear logically, rationally to you or to anybody else, right? If you've got other people chirping in your ear, you might be experiencing those logical thoughts of, this looks like the total opposite of what I'm manifesting. Why is that here? Well, our conditioning tends to lead us to assuming we've done something wrong. She agrees. That you've done something wrong or that this just doesn't work and it hasn't worked yet, blah, blah, blah. No, that's our mind's way of rationalizing the 3D. But what we're doing isn't rational, right? It's not. It's illogical. We're breaking that very human muggle 3D habit of believing that circumstances are really what they are. We're breaking out of that. Chill out, okay? Chill out. In other words, to a muggle, if you're new to my channel, I refer to anybody who doesn't believe in manifestation as a muggle. To muggles, yeah, they might look at, your husband has remarried someone else and had a baby. They might look at that and think of, it's done. It's actually really done. But that's the thing is we're breaking out of the habit, out of the conditioning of thinking that way and of labeling certain circumstances as, oh, this is officially over because this happened or because that happened. That's all the shit we're trying to dump. That very limited thinking. So I genuinely mean it when I say the 3D might look absolutely completely, utterly opposite of what you want. But it doesn't mean this isn't working. It never means that. You might not rationally, logically understand why it's here, but it doesn't mean it's not working to your benefit, because it is. And there are no coincidences. We are always experiencing our reflection of our beliefs. That's why I said, what do you really believe about love? Were you fearing that this was going to happen? You know, maybe you were fearing initially them getting married. Maybe you were fearing from there that, you know, she would have a baby. And if so, why? Meaning, what does it mean to you? What's that label? What does this symbolize? Because it's probably something limited, and that's something that we need to choose differently and bring the identity to the version of yourself that has exactly what she wants, that believes that she's more than enough to have her family back, to be chosen, irregardless of circumstances. Okay. All right. That's right, manifesting maven. Ever. No coincidences. Listen, while I was having my own shitty circumstances, while I was living them, I probably wouldn't have said this to you, okay? While I was living them, I would have said something like, this fucking sucks. I don't know why this is here. This is terrible. Oh my God, why is my world like this? Okay, I might have reacted that way. But after living through them and getting past them, I can comfortably tell you, every single thing I experienced, good or bad, was absolutely expanding my awareness so that I could become the version of myself that's in the loving, fulfilling, committed relationship with this particular version of my specific person. I wouldn't have wanted to even think of that thought while I was living shitty circumstances. But I won't lie to you. I've shared it here more than once that when I was in my September, there was that knowing there. There were glimpses of it. But I was so done with being attached to 3D and feeling like I was stuck in a state, but that's a whole different conversation. My point is, what I would have logically, rationally labeled as a dark moment on my journey, I totally catapulted in leveling up after them. I expanded my awareness big time because of them. Meaning, like, the understanding, the downloads around manifestation that I already thought I knew so much of. I cannot explain the radical shift in things after those moments. I'm not telling you have to have a dark moment to get a download. I'm not telling you got to manifest bad things in order to grow or evolve. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that when we are already experiencing a shit moment or something that we're labeling as a shit moment, it's not because God, universe, your subconscious mind, higher power, source energy, moonbeams is deliberately torturing you. That's not happening. It's never the universe, God, all those things I just listed, saying, no, you can't have what you want either. It's reflection. It's a reflection of a belief. Or as Neville Goddard would say, it's the manifestation of a forgotten state of consciousness. A version of ourselves that we forgot we inhabited or embodied at one time. But even then, it's nothing to fear. We don't have to be afraid of our thoughts. And if you are afraid of your thoughts, that's a whole other conversation. That is something we need to stop doing. You got to break free of that energy of being afraid of thoughts. Thoughts aren't the problem. It's what you're doing with the thoughts. It's the state you're choosing to embody. And you are in total control over your states. Doesn't always feel like it, but you are. So there's nothing to be afraid of. You don't have to be afraid of your thoughts. But again, a different conversation. I would really take a look at what you've been believing specifically about the categories I just listed and put the focus on being, I'm hearing the not good enough belief. Obviously, I haven't had a one-on-one with you, so I don't know if there's anything else there, but just by the circumstances, that not good enough is somewhere in the equation. So obviously identifying as more than enough and really getting into your imagination and really thinking about consciously what it would feel like to be the you that's living the life you want right now. I don't mean that surface level. Well, I would feel happy. I would feel good. That's my answer. What did that take you? 3 seconds? I'm saying really step into being that version of yourself, and how would it feel? Get into that imagination. Some of us, let's just keep it real. Some of us are afraid to even think for 5 fucking seconds of what it would feel like to have what you're manifesting. And you're doing it from the place of the fear of not getting it, the fear of being disappointed, which should answer the question of who you are really being. Just saying. That's something to think about. Okay. I was terrified of dreaming about my best life. Terrified. Yes. And manifesting Maven, isn't it because of what I just said? Like the fear of actually getting it, or the fear of being afraid that you won't get it. The fear of being disappointed. Yes. See? I told you. Told y'all. Disappointment. Yep. See, guys? See, I'm not just making this shit up. Talking from experience, first of all. Number 2 is I coach people. This is the shit I hear. I know it. We're afraid. Some of us are afraid to entertain and really marinate in the thoughts of you having your desire because you're afraid of not getting it. You're afraid of being disappointed. And I know that sucks. And that certainly would say to me that you have experienced being disappointed. You've experienced not getting what your heart's desire was throughout your life. I get that. So did I. But this is where you're breaking free from that shit. This is where you actually do get your heart's desire. That's why you're here. This is what I'm talking about when I'm saying you're breaking free of that version of yourself. And that isn't to beat up on your other self, your old self. No, we don't hate our old selves. And if we do, that's a whole other fucking conversation. Okay? That's not good. Our old selves are what got us here today. Just saying. Okay? But our minds are complex. They are complex, but in a good way. I don't mean that in a limiting way. In a good way. So some of us fear that it's going to take forever to reprogram our mind. No. You are so much more than being stuck in a program. You're so much more than that. And this mind is so much more powerful than that. That's just a belief. Okay? Anyway. Yes, gray stuff. Wake up. You are playing a character. You just need to change the character you're observing yourself to be. Yes, that's a perfect analogy, in my opinion. And that's exactly what, Vadim Zealand, he uses that example of get off the stage. You're getting lost in your character, as if you were in a play, or we can use a movie if you'd like. Get out of the movie. You're getting lost into the fake-ass character you're playing. Who you really are is consciousness. And that's what I mean by that energetic pull of being sucked into the 3D and getting upset over circumstances. You're really getting over-involved into your character. Too involved. Take that step back out of reality. Kim, you have helped me manifest so much. I'm thankful for you and your teachings. Thank you so much, BF. Thank you very much. I'm very happy to hear that. Yes. I was napping and I heard, wake up. And I woke up, literally. As in, wait a minute, were you falling asleep to this live stream and you heard the wake up? Or you heard someone say, wake up? Because I have had that experience. Well, I heard a voice scream at me to wake up while there was no one at home. It was just me. I've had that experience. Just saying. Okay. Butterfly Rose, thank you very much. Want to marry SP? What version of self do I choose? The version of self that's in a loving, fulfilling, committed marriage? That version of self. Now, yeah, I'm literally, yes, that's the version of self, but there is a twinge of sarcasm, as in, okay, why do you believe that you're not married, or that you can't be married, or that you can't have that specific person? What's the story? If there's no stories, wonderful. Put all the focus on being the married version of you. Okay? It really is that simple. It really is. But our rational, logical mind makes us feel like it's more difficult than it really is. Once you know you are God, then from that space and awareness, you then choose your choices. Yes. Guys, you have no idea how much it helps to take a step back and just focus on the end. Yes. Yes. I feel safe and excited at the same time. Passionately Taylor Marie, let me just say, are you married? Is that where you are? You're married? Or are you answering a Butterfly Rose's question with me? No worries, all knowing. That's right, BFF. I am $1 Million Month Mama. When shit is opposite, it puts a fire in my ass to persist. Good. Issa, thank you very much. Hi, Kim. First super chat. I see that. There's all sorts of balloons and everything on my end for you. Thank you very much for your first super chat. Hi, Kim. First super chat. Is it possible to manifest a drastic appearance change? And how would I go about that? Also changing my career. Love your vids too. Oh, well, thank you so much. As far as drastic appearance, how would you do that? You would, like anything else, imagine yourself with whatever appearance changes that you're looking for. Imagine yourself as already being that. Or affirm, or script, both, I'm saying, either one. Both, either one. Whether you like to script, whether you like to affirm, or visualize. It's really getting into your imagination and seeing yourself as having those changes, the appearance change. The technique you choose really in of itself doesn't matter. What will be important for you is, in your day-to-day 3D existence, not getting in front of a mirror and nitpicking and pointing out all of the things you're not happy with your appearance, or deliberately marinating in the thoughts that nothing's changed. That's what's going to be important for you. So as far as a technique, whatever feels good. You could use just one affirmation, a phrase that indicates to you that you are, you're exactly in the body you've always wanted to be, right? Or you look exactly the way you've always wanted to, or maybe you have someone in mind that you are, modeling it off from, you officially look exactly like whatever. It can be as simple as that. The important part is what you're doing in the 3D from there, because that's really the same thing as wavering or checking the 3D. Like I would say to someone manifesting a specific person, like, stop checking their social media type of shit. It's the same idea. You getting in the mirror and looking to see, has it changed yet? Did anything change? First of all, we don't want to do that. Okay. Second of all, you nitpicking yourself, which, listen, I don't judge people on what they want to manifest. So I'm not judging you. Please don't think that I am. But I'm saying that is it precursor? I don't think it's precursor. There's a better phrase, disclaimer, that, you know, whatever it is, when you used that phrase, a drastic appearance change, please know that your belief about your appearance matters. So just like I was saying, like, don't get in front of the mirror and start nitpicking yourself because the appearance change isn't here. If you are in a place, like, say right now in this moment, where you do not love yourself, okay? Or if you've been someone like who gets in front of the mirror and starts hating on yourself because you don't look a certain way. Again, your question might be something completely opposite of what I'm talking about, but other people are going to listen to this playback and are listening to the live now. So maybe someone else needs to hear this. If we don't want anyone to hate themselves or hate their appearance. That has to go before you can even concern yourself with the appearance change. Meaning, the idea is to love yourself. To love yourself. So I know I've been asked before, well, like, what does that mean? What do you mean how I love myself? Don't overthink it. Try to remember that you are already unconditional love. And maybe start affirming something that, you know, I love my appearance. I love myself inside and out. Even if in the moment you have no conscious real idea of what that means, start telling yourself that. Because it will start shifting you. And the understanding, the download will come if you don't understand what that means. If you are aware of what it means. Again, if you've been someone that, you know, dislikes your appearance so much that you've believed you were less than or not good enough, that's what I'm referring to. You're more than enough. You're beautiful inside and out, blah, blah, blah. That's important. That's important. And your reason for wanting the appearance change really in of itself kind of doesn't matter. But to get success, already being at peace and loving yourself is an important part of that manifestation. I hope that made sense, for the love of God. Thank you, Yara. I thought I saw that when I was answering that previous question. Thank you very much. Please hit the like button, everyone. I appreciate you making that comment. Manifesting Maven, thank you very much. Things are nuts. Knocked out a 3P. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. You got it going on, girl. You know my life. Lately, I've been having to revisit that old story. Advice scares me. Love you. Don't you, listen, you don't even need me to say this to you. You already know. Don't you let that 3D fool you. Don't you let it fool you. As far as you having to revisit the thing that I know you're talking about, don't be fooled by that. That doesn't mean that something's like going to flip the script and go back in a direction we don't want it to go in. It doesn't mean that. It never means that. So if there's fear or fearful thoughts coming in about that thing specifically, okay, let's identify them. Let's face it. What is the fear really saying? What are we really believing? And are we believing that as our new self? Or do we know better? Do we know that new self knows that she was completely and utterly successful in getting whatever the fuck she wanted in that scenario and in every area of life? See? You just need a reminder. You know what you're doing, girl. And also, why not put it in the back of your mind as well? It is not a coincidence that you took the inspired action one day to click on one of my videos so that we then connect and find out we have a near identical story. That's not a coincidence, right? You know that. And you knew, or you know what my outcome was. It's not a coincidence. See what I'm saying? So when those fears are coming in, remind yourself of that. I wouldn't be placed in your reality for any other reason outside of the fact that I'm fucking fabulous and you just teasing. But you got what I'm saying. That we know that is such an obvious unfolding. Okay? You have nothing to fear ever. I love you. You're the best, Kim. I wish I could tell you everything now. It's unfolding with OG and SP. Oh, I'm not surprised, girl. You are fabulous. I love you. Okay? I liked you the first time you got on and chit-chatted in the groups. So, and you knew that because I'm pretty sure I said it. We get excited when you wanted to talk. So, we got connected for a reason. And you know what that reason is. No matter what that 3D looks like, no matter what, OG SP, I don't care what comes out of those lips. I don't care what comes out of anybody else's lips in regards to that particular scenario. I don't care. Well, really to any scenario. But speaking to you, don't you be fooled. Mine looked like it was going the absolute other direction right on up to the very last minute. Literally. No exaggerations on that. It looked the opposite. And I didn't even know about manifestation then, okay? So a lot of my time was trying to get my mind off of the fear. Not knowing any better, too, that, me marinating and worrying and stressing, blah, blah, blah. And I still got what I wanted. At that very last minute, it came. I also started doing a hell of a lot of praying back then because I still believed in the, whatever. You get what I'm saying. So you do know about manifestation. You do know what's going on with your mind. You have that advantage right now, right? I didn't have the awareness then. You do. And then magically you connect with me and we have a near identical story. Not a coincidence. You know where to put your focus. You know who you're choosing to be. Sometimes you just got to hear everything's going to be okay so that we can lean on that. So that's what I'm saying to you. Everything's going to be okay. It is. And you're going to be able to come back and validate that or share that if you so choose so that I can say, freaking told you so. Told you so. Okay? All right. So, on that note, this has been absolutely wonderful. I must go. We have Halloween activities to do. I hope all of you are having a very fabulous Halloween. If you have children and you're going trick-or-treating, have the best time. And I know you probably heard this before, but enjoy all that time with your little ones. Enjoy it. Because then they grow up and don't want to go trick-or-treating. They don't want to wear the costumes. At least not the cute ones. And they don't want you to hold their hand and take them trick-or-treating, when they're 22. That for some reason, my son doesn't want to go trick-or-treating. You know what I'm saying? He just doesn't. He doesn't want to go trick-or-treating with mom. So enjoy it. Enjoy it. If any of you are manifesting children to have babies, me just talking about it is validation. It's a BBL for your manifestation. You're going to be able to take them trick-or-treating if you celebrate Halloween. And I think that you should because it is such a fun day. Just saying. So I love you all. Thank you very much for being here with me. And I will see, the hot seaters. I'll see you all in the morning. Is there anything else? If it comes to me. My man might work overtime on Saturday. If he does, if I have time, or I mean, reword, we're having the advanced manifestors group. That meeting got moved to this Saturday at 9 a.m. If we get done with that in an early enough time before he comes home from OT, I might be able to go live on, public live like this. Not promising it, but there's a I might. And if I do, it'd be like noonish. Okay? All right. Go have amazing Halloweens. I love you all, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Okay? Be good, be safe, and choose who you want.